This week for class, we are going to start thinking about our groupings, and we will start to organize into some topics to prepare for our second semester projects. There's two formatives this week. There's one today, and that one is on student loan debt. Not a fun topic, but something that you kind of need to be aware of. And the other one is on Wednesday, which is where I will ask you which group you want to be in. So second semester, we're going to have some group projects where I'm going to ask, there'll be 5 groups, and I'll ask each group to create a web page. And then different people in the group will be responsible for different content within that web page. So it won't be a group grade per se. You'll be working together to accomplish, the goals that you set out for yourselves for the website. But each person will have their own page in the website for the content that they're creating. So you'll be responsible for that content. So part of today is designed to get us working toward that content. I do have an announcement to make about content. Drum roll. We are partnering with the counseling department and the College and Career Center because they want to use our content on their Google Classroom and on their Twitter and on their website so that more students can have access to some of the things that y'all are researching. We had some excellent projects on a multitude of topics, and the counseling department wants to utilize that so that more students can see what you're putting together and maybe gain some knowledge from it, and it will help more people than just us as we do our research. So going forward, they've asked me to share a number of things from first semester, and they're going to start putting that out as content on their different sites. And as we complete things over this semester, same thing. They want to sort of add to what they're putting out there, and you guys are going to be a real important part of that. So that's exciting. Oh, here comes that helicopter again. Weird. I can hear it, but
right now.
Huh?
I heard it right now. It went over.
Yeah.
For me as well.
I wonder what that is. It's like rattling my house.
I heard it too.
Okay.
Here, right here.
Okay. Well, I live out by do y'all know where Kleckler Held is? The the middle school.
But I don't live near there. Then what am I hearing? Is it another one?
I don't know, or maybe it could be moving, right? Like going over the city of Weslaco. I don't know.
Because it seems far away. It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
close. It seems like over there far away.
Well, maybe 15 minutes ago it went over my house and it was shaking my teeth. So it was pretty close. I don't know what's going on. Probably top secret stuff that I'm not supposed to know about. Or aliens.
It's the FBI, miss. It's the FBI,
The FBI is busy right now. I'm pretty sure if they're not busy in Washington, D.C., they're busy on this computer breach that we got going on in WISD. That's for sure. Anyway, so hopefully I'm explaining the groups pretty well to you so that you have a good feel for them. I'm going to give you the actual assignments, and you're going to start working with your groups next week, because today we're going to do some brainstorming. Wednesday, you'll tell me what your preferences are for your groups, and then I'll have the groups for you next Monday. So that's coming up. The last thing I want to talk about before we go do that brainstorming is scholarships. So one of the assignments that we will have ongoing throughout the rest of this semester is scholarships. So I've set it up so that you'll be getting a grade to complete anywhere from 5 to 8 scholarships per 6 weeks. And how many you do is what your grade is going to equal. So if you do 8, then that's going to be 100, and you need to do a minimum of 5 scholarships. You remember that I was talking last Wednesday when we had Aitza Roque in, and she was talking about how everybody was groaning when I made them do the scholarships last year, and nobody said anything to me, but that's okay. I knew that they weren't happy about it. I know that it's not the most fun thing, but I'll tell you what is a fun thing is a bank account. So, and she was talking about how much independence that gave her. If you missed that, you might want to go back and watch the video because she made me cry a little bit. I knew that they weren't happy doing the scholarships, and I'm sort of a slave driver. You're going to have to do a number of scholarships and submit a screenshot that it was completed as evidence of your grade. I mean, we had time in class because I sort of made it so that Monday was group discussion day and Wednesday was scholarship day. You know, they had class and time to work on it. They just didn't want to because, you know, senioritis and whatnot. But then they all ended up with, you know, more money than they had expected. So we're going to keep up with that on her advice and a couple other students too. So if you look on the classroom right here, you'll see that I have a spot for the 4th 6-week scholarships. This is not due until February 17th because, you know, you've got time to work on them. Also, you know, I'm not going to just tell you go out there and do scholarships. I have a whole bunch of tools, and if you scroll down just below this week, or if it ever gets lost, you can always just navigate over here to scholarship tools. You'll see that I'm giving you a lot of links and things to help you find scholarships that you can do. It doesn't really take that long if you find some quick scholarships. Not every one requires an essay or a letter of recommendation. Let me just walk you through a few of the things that are here so that as you're getting started with your scholarships, you know, if you do 1 or 2 a week, then you'll be in good shape. This is the school scholarship webpage that Miss Amanda does out of the College and Career Center. So if you click on that one, I kind of left that with a star at the top because those are the ones that you're, you know, going to hear about mostly through school. The only thing is they're not really organized by date. If I ever think to tell her, I might suggest that. So you kind of have to scroll through them, but there are links to all of the ones that are available, and you can use those. And then I also, let me go back to this. I also use some icons here to tell you what kind of resource is there. So if it's a flashlight, it looks like a paintbrush to me, but that's because I have to wear my glasses. I have, my doctor says I have chronic eye fatigue. I'm like, don't we all have chronic fatigue? But I have to put these drops and I can't wear my contacts for a month. Anyway, right now it looks like a paintbrush, but I'm sure you can see it as a flashlight. All the flashlights are search resources. So you can go onto those websites and then you can search from there for more scholarships. I highly recommend FastWeb if you know you're going to go to UTRGV. They have a scholarship search function where you can, you know, find scholarships that fit your requirements. But then don't forget to go down here and hit view more because I'm always adding stuff. The money bags ones, that's the symbol for a scholarship that you can click and apply, like one scholarship. It's not a search function, in other words. And then the ones that are like little notebooks, those are sort of like information. So how do you apply for Texas grants? How do you get letters of recommendation? So I'll be adding to this and organizing them in that way to help you so that you can find scholarships easily. There are a lot of social media accounts that you can follow and do scholarship applications very quickly. If you're a scroller, if you like to scroll through your social media, you might like to follow some of these scholarship tools, resources, and that might help you find some too. I mean, you might as well use your scrolling to your advantage sometimes. So that's a tool to help you accomplish that expectation of completing those scholarships. I mean, think about all the seniors who are trying to get money for school and they don't have a class where somebody is requiring them to do it. They're not gonna, you know, generally do as many scholarships. So you'll be getting more money than those people probably. I don't know. Okay. So then let's go back to today. I want to spend a little bit of time brainstorming for our topics on our group project. And that one you will find right here, participate in group brainstorming. I made this an assignment so that I can give you a grade. What I did was I made a Padlet, and we're going to spend maybe 15 or 20 minutes working together to brainstorm for the 5 different topics that the groups will have for second semester. And I mean, nobody knows what group they're going to be in yet. So I would like for you to try to post 2 ideas or questions, or maybe you know of a website that would be helpful for that topic underneath it. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So if you post 2 for each column, there are 5 columns, that will be 100. If you post 2 posts in 4 of the columns, that's a 90, and so on and so forth. So we're going to try to post as much as we can on this Padlet. And if you click right here, you can get to it. So the 5 groupings that we have for second semester are living independently, networking, physical and emotional health, handling academics, and first generation students. Notice that 3 of them are general and aren't even necessarily about going to college. Even though you can put information, those groups might decide to have some of their content about networking at college. But these 2 are clearly about continuing on with your education, but not everybody's going to. And now we have to think about all of those students who are on the College and Career Center Google Classroom and the people that are on the counseling department Twitter, so that we can make sure we give information for everybody. So living independently is about like adulting, right? All those things that come into play when your mom isn't taking care of you on the daily. Networking, I put a little note here. That's about communicating with people, getting opportunities, finding things, etc. Physical, emotional health, I think that is obvious. Handling academics, you know, everything from time management to planners, you know, think about all the different aspects of what do you know, how do you deal with academics? And then first generation students. First generation is a population that we're trying to make sure get support for their college dreams. So I made a column for that too. So what I want you to do is, all you have to do is click under the column, and if you're signed into Google, you'll see that your name automatically pops up, and then you can put in a question or a topic or something that you think would help that group start to plan next week. So I want to give you 15 minutes or so to go in and put in as many of these little tiles as possible, and you'll see they'll start to scroll underneath there. And just give ideas and little questions to help those groups. I'll put some music on for you while you're working, okay? Questions? See anything in the chat? I will put on some music for you. You can just click the plus and it should we cleanse all the negative energy? That's what we should do. Don't fall asleep with this music. Are y'all able to get to the Padlet? You don't have the little pluses underneath there? What you saying? Okay, refresh.
Now like the pluses come out.
Okay. If your thing comes out and it says anonymous, just put your name in the box when you're typing so I can give you your points. It just means you're not logged into the thing for some reason.
Can you send the code again for the Padlet? Because I wasn't able to get it.
The Padlet? Oh, there's a link
Yes.
right here. On the Google Classroom,
Oh, and work
where it says
classwork.
participate in group brainstorming right there.
Alrighty.
Erica, make them separate boxes. So I can count them.
Miss, can you see mine?
Yeah, you just have to scroll to see them. Like once you're on the column, you have to scroll to see them when they surpass the page. Like if you take a link, like this one that Juliana did, you can click right here and enter the URL. Copy paste. Doesn't like that link. You can use this link button right here and it will pop up like this one over here so that people can preview what it is. But I think, Juliana, I think yours, maybe I was copying that list. There we go. There you go, see like that. Think about things that people might have trouble doing, right? Like making doctor's appointments for themselves, or how do you talk to your professor about your grade? Homesickness is a big thing. Think about, like maybe those things aren't going to happen to you, but maybe we don't know yet.
Miss, how do I put my name in the thing?
If it's not coming up automatically, then when you're typing your idea, you can just type your name in that same box.
Okay.
When we say first generation students, we mean students who they're the first in their family to go to college. Like their parents and grandparents and so on did not go to college. So the reason that we kind of focus on that grouping is because sometimes first generation students don't have as much support and understanding of the college process. And more colleges are actually forming groups and organizations and tools to help first generation students navigate college. So when you're putting stuff in this column, it's about people who are going to college for the first time in their family. So they're kind of like leading the way in a way. Yeah, like how do you form a study group? How do you deal with TAs? Wish I had a TA. Grade some of those dual enrollment research papers. What if you're away at school and you get sick? What do? I'd probably put that under physical and emotional health, right? You know what? Ellie did a really good project on the freshman 15. How to avoid the freshman. Have y'all heard about the freshman 15? It's a really good video. I think that's one of the ones that we'll send out. Did you hear that big helicopter? I don't know. All the kids heard it too.
The whole damn house rocked.
Yeah,
Like we under siege.
I think it was one of those big helicopters with the props, you know, like on the outside, like this
I looked
military.
out the window, I couldn't see anything, but I thought it was an airplane.
It's pretty low. Yeah, I know some students under networking, I'm seeing Erica's post, and some students already have a network of students that they are in communication with before they even hit campus because of hashtags on Twitter and, you know, like class of 2025 and, you know, psychology 2025, UT, whatever. So yeah, there's ways that you can network and sort of have friends before you even make it to campus. Oh, what about roommates? Do I have something on there about roommates? Because you might have roommates whether you're in college or in real life too, right? Like, well, not college isn't real life, but you know, like after you're done, you might still have roommates. That's something. That's a big time living independently topic. Planning out your courses. Yeah, what if you don't like studying? How do you stay motivated? And how do you avoid distractions? That could be a good one too. Somebody can put that under handling academics. I don't know, your phone can be your friend when you're studying, but it can also be your worst enemy. You know what else? Cultural differences. I feel like maybe that would be under living independently or physical and emotional health. We have students all the time. You know, the Valley's an insular place. It's a place where, you know, people have, you know, a certain experience. And if you haven't been many other places, it could be radically different. We have people who go, you know, and they have scholarships and everything, but they end up coming back after a semester, a year, because they just weren't prepared for the diversity that they experienced, you know? And I'm not just talking about Austin, right? It's kind of like when I moved here, it was really, you know, there's a culture shock sometimes if you're going someplace that's, you know, a good distance away. A few people did some really good projects on like your first dorm or apartment, like a checklist of your essentials, what you would need. I guess I would go under living independently too. Budgeting, that's good. Yeah. How much does it cost to live on your own? Maybe there's like a worksheet somewhere where people can fill that out, because there's stuff you don't think about. If your parents pay your electric bill and your phone bill and your cable bill, do you have any idea what that adds up to, right? If you had to sacrifice, what would you sacrifice? Study bunny. Never heard of that. Oh, do you put it on your phone, Ellie?
Yes.
Yeah, if you really, really need some help, you could get Study Bunny to do the dirty work for you. You know what, Marisol? That's a really good question about venting, because my parents didn't go to college. My grandparents went to college, so I'm not a first generation college student, but my parents didn't go. And I remember when things got tough for me, I would complain to them and be like, oh, this professor's so hard, and oh, this class is so tough. And you know, they didn't really understand me venting, and they're like, well, you know, just suck it up. It's kind of hard if your parents don't have the same experience. Yeah, that's a good one. Sometimes you do just need to vent. Stress relievers. Yeah, you need to, if you don't have a go-to stress reliever like working out or um, some hobby that you like to do. mm, Why wouldn't you have Wi-Fi, Erica? Most places come with
Sometimes Wi-Fi are like expensive to like low-income students, so many of them need to have hotspots. And in many colleges, sometimes they don't have hotspots or anything. Like I know this one student who was like one of my friends, but we already went distant. He wasn't very low income and he had to stay till like 9 p.m. at the library to finish his
Oh,
like his homework. And then when he went home, he got home like around 11.
he wasn't living on campus because the dorms will have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he wasn't living on campus. He was living off campus.
Well, it's the same struggle that we have right now, right?
Yeah.
With this virtual learning. I think that we should all assume right now that in the fall there's going to be some element of virtual learning still going on. And there's always online classes. So even if everything's back to a traditional school format, in college, they always have the option of online classes. So yeah, that's a good point. Wi-Fi can be expensive. Or limited if you go on data, right? That's why some people don't turn on their cameras and it's hard to stream videos. Take another minute or so to finish up and see what else you can add. Make sure your name's on all of yours so I can go ahead and come back and give you points. Double check if anything is duplicated. I know this one over here, Money, so put this one up. It's the same one, right? I'm just gonna take that one. And this is just a beginning spot. Next weekend, when you get into your groups, you can use this as a starting point for your discussion about how you want your website to be structured and what topics you think are the most important ones to deal with. Those will be discussions for your group as a whole. So it's kind of important to be in class on Monday so you can find out what group you're in and also start working with your group. I do not intend to have classes on Wednesdays or on a week Fridays, just like first semester. I don't think we need them. And oops. Are you guys still there? I think you're still there. So the I'm thinking that if you needed to get into your groups to have a discussion at some point in time, we'll have some class time for that on Mondays, or else on Wednesdays. You might also have the time that would be in class where you should be able to meet up too. But like I said, the content is going to get divvied up and you'll be responsible for your own content within your topic. But next week we'll be starting with these lists. So if you haven't finished adding in your ideas for the different topics, then I think I left this open through Wednesday. So you can come back and add your ideas, you know, so that the people who aren't here have a chance to go in and add to the list. So you can go ahead and do that. The only other thing that you need to do for this week is the formatives and maybe get started on some of those scholarships. I know some of the people who waited until the week that they were due weren't too happy to do 5 or 6 scholarships in a couple of days. So Wednesday's formative will ask you, of those 5 groups, which ones would you prefer? What's your like number 1 choice? What's your number 2 choice? And so I'll spend some time figuring out. Hopefully everybody can get their number 1 choice or number 2 choice. But then I know if it's number 5, I know you don't really care about that group. So I'll make sure you're not in that group. All right. I think that's it for this week. As long as you do your formatives and finish up that brainstorming, I think you'll be in good shape. Any other worries or concerns? since I'm not going to see you for a week?
Miss, on the scholarships, I applied for the UTRGV scholarships. Do I just take a screenshot of what came up or how?
Yeah, so when you're finished with the scholarship, we'll say congratulations, you've submitted your application, or sometimes they send you like a verification email saying your application is complete. You can just take a screenshot of that just so that I can see that you're doing different scholarships. So
Oh, okay. Thank you, Miss.
yeah, either way. Yeah. Any other questions before I go ahead and sign off? All right, well, I hope that you all have a good week. Stay warm and dry. I don't know if it's going to be raining anymore this week, but I know that it's chilly today. So get your blankets and your hot cocoa, and hey, that's the perfect time to work on scholarships, right? Get some marshmallows for your hot cocoa and get a scholarship or two done. I'm sure you can do it. If anything comes up, just message me. Y'all know how to do it. And I will see you next Monday where we will form our groups. So if there aren't any questions, I'm going to go ahead and say bye and enjoy the rest of your week. Take
I
care,
miss you too.
everybody.
Bye, Miss. Have a good
Bye.
day.
Miss.
Actually, Miss, I have a question for you, but I wanted to wait till everyone got.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Well, it's because I got an email from the college I wanted to go to that they haven't received like my FAFSA or something. So I don't know how to check if they have it or not. Like, how do I know that if it's even done? My mom said she finished it because I remember we did it. Well, I started it, and then they were like, okay, now the rest of the part, because there's like the income and all that, that's for your parents to do. So I was
Right.
like, okay.
You should be able to go back onto the you should be able to go back onto the site and look at your account, and it will tell you your status. Did you get an email with your EFC?
I don't think so.
Okay. So the first thing that happens when your FAFSA is processed is they're going to send you an email that says, this is your estimated family contribution, I think is what that stands for. That's how you know that they have your FAFSA and they've evaluated it. So I would sign into the FAFSA account and I would look and see its status.
Okay.
Like maybe something wasn't finished and they kicked it back to you or something.
Yeah.